That would have been cooler if we were able to nail it the first time, but we weren't loud enough, so we had to restart.
That was our, for those of you that are uncultured swines, we were cracking open some cold Mountain Dews, except
Yes.
the first take was unusable, so we just simulated it.
You know, you can do this at home. All you got to do is...
Yeah, you take a Mountain Dew and you go...
And it doesn't matter what flavor, because we're all just one big happy Mountain Dew family here. I'm drinking a holiday limited edition Merry Mashup because I have no taste whatsoever, and for some reason all the stores can't get rid of it, so I just keep buying it.
I've seen your diet. I know you have no taste.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, which would be literally everybody ever.
Because it's episode 1, baby.
Oh, yeah. So this is our quarantine podcast.
Yep.
You know, like every other human being on the face of the planet's probably doing right now.
It's Corona Cast.
Yeah,
But not like beer, like disease, Corona.
Yeah, I don't think we can say that word. We might get demonetized if we upload this to YouTube, but we're going to keep it in.
Oh, no.
So, for those of you that couldn't hear it in the theme song, because the theme song is absolutely horrible, the name
Composed in a half hour.
If even that.
At 11 o'clock at night.
The name of the podcast is Maybe Their Real Podcast, was the friends we made along the way.
Oh, it's touching.
It's very touching because we're probably never going to have any guests. So that's especially ironic.
Actually, so I told some of my friends from my group chat, from my friends in high school, and they said they'd be down to be guests on the show. So we could have people that you have no idea who they are.
But we only have 2 microphones.
I can share. I'm not a big person.
They better not have potty mouths because I don't want to go through and add bleeps. I've never done that before, and I don't really want to do that.
I think that would mess up our continuity and definitely streamline our audience base.
Just have an explicit podcast, but instead of talk like naughty words, we'll just say like Fuddrucker.
And poop.
Fuddruckers is such a weird restaurant. I was always scared to talk about it because it sounds like a dirty word. It's Fuddrucker. It's like, it just makes me kind of go, ugh.
Yeah, ever since I've heard of Fuddruckers, whenever somebody says that, I just unironically just go, watch your language, because I think I'm a comedic genius.
You're not.
I know.
You were that guy. So, periodically throughout this podcast, you will most likely hear what sounds like an infant screaming in the background.
That's a goat in my house. So we do this in my basement. We haven't introduced ourselves.
Our basement. It doesn't matter.
Nobody knows who we are, so my basement means nothing.
That's okay. They'll never see our faces. They'll never see us coming.
Okay, well, long story short, there's a goat in my house, and it's a baby, and it screams loud when it's hungry, like real babies, except louder, and it doesn't know when to stop.
It's slightly terrifying in the middle of the night to hear a goat screaming in the house.
Absolutely.
So, awkward transition. Next I have written in our itinerary.
Wait, did we do it exactly as you wrote it down?
Oh, wait, actually next in the itinerary was, what is the child screaming in the background? So we're ahead of schedule.
Dude, we have to fill time. We can't be skipping ahead like this.
We didn't even skip ahead. We're condensing them too much. So, we thought it would be interesting to do what every other podcast on the face of the planet has done, and do like a little what are we watching? You know, because we're stuck indoors.
In the basement.
In the basement, because, you know, we definitely would be out doing something else if not.
Yeah, we have lives, guys. Come on.
For sure. We do all the things. Like, we get friends together and swing at the local park.
We go down to the soda fountain and play jacks and
play poker at the local billiards hall. Or is it pool hall?
We
is
go
billiards
up.
Hall a thing?
Not anymore. Not for at least 75
but is
years.
It billiards hall or pool hall?
I don't know. Are they interchangeable?
I don't know what billiards is.
Is it the same thing as pool?
I don't know. It's
Google
on a pool I don't want to Google it. Ignorance is bliss, and I'm happy, man.
Hey Siri, what's the difference between billiards and pool? Not Google. Let's try that again. What's the difference between billiards and pool?
I found this on the web.
Oh. According to mentalfloss.com,
Ooh.
it's not going to load, but we'll get back to you on that eventually.
So is that what my dentist means when I got a floss more? Mental floss?
Well, if we're talking about billiards, he just means take a pool cue and just jam it between your teeth until you get all the or like shine your teeth with a chalk cube.
So we're going to talk about what we've been watching in our social distancing.
Well, yes, in our social distancing and before that, because back in January, I kind of got Daniel hooked on. Well, not hooked on, but I convinced him. Forced to watch.
She taped me up, tied me to the chair, and forced me to watch Dragon Ball Z against my will.
I was gonna tie you to the chair no matter what, but so yeah, I have a weeaboo tendency that will never be satiated, and so I must rewatch Dragon Ball Z at least once a year.
You watched this? You watched all that? I don't believe you.
Yeah, you shouldn't, because it's a lie.
That's a lot of TV.
I had the first couple seasons on DVD, and then
Are we on 3 or 4?
4.
Okay. So yeah, I've never watched any Dragon Ball Z before. I like to make fun of them their animaniacs. Is that the word for the people that like anime? Why are you holding that? Just
Because it won't stay. I've cranked the mic stand will not stay up.
quality. Don't make that noise. This is not ASMR. So I have never been an anime aficionado. I like Sonic X. I think my favorite anime of all time is probably Phineas and Ferb. But we started from the beginning, which is not really the beginning, because apparently there's a show before it. But we started at episode 1.
It's just Dragon Ball, but take the Z off, and
Yeah.
then you got.
So
Yeah.
we watched through season 1, and it was pretty interesting because like I'm pretty sure there was only 3 episodes where anything actually happened.
You know, you just have to. Your problem is you don't. You require constant distraction of.
fast action stuff. I don't care about the storyline that much. I want people to beat each other up. And there was 16 episodes of watching somebody run on a track to a planet in heaven.
That Goku, that someone is Son Goku, and that track is Snake Way, which I won't sit here and have my childhood disrespected.
Sorry, I think I have a little case of the Nerdrona. Stop. But no, I've appreciated it for the most part. It's enjoyable.
He likes you like all the angry characters. You like
like all
Vegeta, Piccolo.
I like all the angry characters. Yeah.
There's
And
one-
Raphael, but he's an turtle. So,
We'll get to the turtles later.
but we watched that, and we're up to season 4, and we've been watching the DC animated movie universe.
Yes, and I must say it is significantly better than the live-action DC universe. Not that I'm hating on the live-action movies.
Justice League's not great.
No, it's not. Batman vs. Superman got a little too much hate, I think. It's not the best.
I liked it.
It's not the best. It's not the worst.
I would have liked it better if it had ended like 30 minutes sooner.
Like, just take the first 45 minutes out of that movie.
Well, I saw that movie in theaters, and at the end of it, about every 5 minutes, I thought it was over, and then there was another scene, and then I thought it was over, and then there was another scene. It was almost as excruciatingly long and painful as the relationship with my ex-girlfriend.
Oof, there's a lot of baggage there, but since the airports are closed, we're not going to unpack it. So,
Make sure you disinfect it first.
oh man.
Because of the coronavirus.
Of course, not the toxicity of that relationship.
That's okay. That'd be really weird if she found this, but also,
You don't care.
that's okay.
We're not doxing.
That's okay.
We're not doxing.
I won't say her name, Karen. No, just kidding. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is gonna have to be cut out. This is so stupid.
No, let's leave it. It's good.
Oh yeah, DC animated movies. There's like they have these animated movies that are like connected, like the Marvel movies, kind of, where each of their it's like a big story and they're whatever. It's dumb, but they're good. And I'm forcing you to watch them because you forced me to watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
Which I think this might be better than Dragon Ball Z, but I'm a little biased.
That's a matter of opinion. Also, what you're saying Goku on Snake Away is that excruciatingness is me having to deal with Damian Wayne
That's the point.
for the last 4 or 5 movies.
So Damian Wayne is Batman's illegitimate son, and he is the
Insufferable.
definition of entitled brat, except also he uses swords to murder people sometimes.
And, Batman doesn't do the whole murdering thing. And so this is a bit of conflict.
So, we just finished Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Which, by the way, may I say, is the most clickbaity title you could ever put on an animated superhero movie, because the Teen Titans only fight the Justice League for maybe 5 minutes.
They at least fought, though. I mean, Batman versus Superman, they fought for 8 minutes.
Fair enough.
Batman v Superman. Sorry, there's not a S. It's just v Superman. Why did Batman get top billing in the Superman sequel?
Why is it that Superman didn't fly up into space and just zap him with his eye lasers?
He did that, didn't he? He took him up there and nuked him, but then he survived.
Exactly. You knew Batman was going to win or Superman was going to die.
Oh, wait, you're talking about Batman. Oh.
I'm talking about the live action.
No, I mean, I was talking about Doomsday.
That too.
At the end. I thought you meant why didn't he laser him? Because, yeah.
But, Batman was... You knew going into that movie, though, that Batman was going to not die at the end.
You also knew he was going to win because it was his name first. And everybody thinks Batman will beat Superman. I don't know that I agree. I like Batman better, just like slightly. And in my mind is like, yeah, I'd rather have Batman win, but Superman should win. That's so stupid.
Exactly. It's basically they're turning every single instance of Batman versus Superman into the underdog story, where Batman will win because, kryptonite. Technology.
It's like the absurdity of Captain America beating Iron Man, a man with nuclear missiles in his arms, and a dude with steroids, and yet he still beats him somehow.
Exactly. I think, they're trying to subvert what should happen, but also everybody's already expecting what they're going to do, so it doesn't really do anything.
I like Captain America Civil War, but that title was also pretty clickbaity as well, because there was no war. It was 10 people in a parking lot beating each other up. You can go see that at Walmart now of people fighting over toilet paper.
Wow. Really relating it back to the real world. There's a moral in all this somewhere.
Yeah, don't buy all the toilet paper.
Please don't.
Although,
the people that are buying all the toilet paper, like I've said multiple times, the same people that sit in the left lane on the highway and drive the speed limit.
You should hang them by their toenails, not their toes. Stick things in their toenails and hook them up.
It's a little gruesome.
That's disgusting. Have you ever noticed how those corn chips look like toenails?
Yes.
The curved ones. That's just...
Like Frito Scoops or whatever.
The Fritos is like... Yeah. I would hate to be around, like at your grandma's house or something, and have the grandpa that cuts his toenails and leaves them on like the counter or whatever, and you just you're eating some chips and you spill some on the table, and that was a toenail.
So story time. When my mom and my dad, they hadn't been married very long. My dad, they were sitting on the couch watching TV, and my mom was drinking a can of Diet Coke. And my dad was clipping his toenails, and my mom wasn't really paying attention, and my mom went to go take a swig out of her Diet Coke. My dad thought it'd be funny just to say, I've been putting my toenails in that can, right? And she spit it all over the living room.
Did you just say swig of Diet Dr. What is it? Diet Coke?
Diet Caillou.
Diet Caillou. It's Caillou, but even skinnier and even balder.
And every time you open the can, it whines.
That's disgusting, though. Where were we? Oh, yeah, movies and stuff. So, Corona. We just finished Justice League versus Teen Titans, which I think is pretty good.
It was good. I was just saying that the title's a little clickbaity.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean,
at the end of it,
not as
Damian Wayne's less insufferable.
Yeah.
He's nicer at the end because he thinks that the emo chick is hot.
The Raven, yeah.
Yeah, that's her name. So, which makes total sense because he's a ninja.
And ninjas are into emo chicks.
Apparently.
According to the DC animated universe.
The DCAU. Actually, I think technically the DCAU is those TV shows. I don't know what this is like the DCACU, the DC Animated Cinematic Universe. Oh, I thought somebody was coming down the steps.
Oh no.
We were about to be embarrassed about recording a podcast while your mom stood there. But we're good. Okay, so Justice League versus Teen Titans. There's a lot more Satan than I was expecting.
They call Trigon Satan a lot.
And they never really made the distinction of whether or not he was technically the Satan of the universe or not.
Yeah, I know. He's well, according to, if you go off the original Teen Titans show, the one that was on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s that you never watched because...
This is weeby. Is weeb an offensive word?
Only if you don't wear deodorant.
But is it actually? Is it like a derogatory term?
Can you really have a derogatory term for somebody who likes anime too much?
Should I be saying the W word instead of weeb?
Well, there's a lot of W words.
Is this going to get drudged up when I'm like running for president someday and I'm going to get doxxed and canceled because I said weeb in a terrible first episode of a podcast a long time ago?
Perhaps.
I'm going to run for president and make it so if you're driving on the highway and you're going slower than 45, you get your kneecaps bashed in. Because if I'm driving and your stupid minivan full of whiny brats with an elderly woman who should probably be in a nursing home driving going 35 in a 55, you should not be legally allowed to drive.
Can you imagine that police stop? Please step out of the vehicle, sir. Just pulls out a crowbar and just bashes your kneecaps in.
I was thinking sledgehammer, but that works too. I should run for president, because then all of the movies and like comic books and TV shows that come out around the time that I'm president would have to fashion their president in my likeness, so then I'll officially be in. That's the only way I'll ever be in a comic book, like how they put Obama in. They put him in everything. He was in comics, he was in TV shows, he was in movies. Not in Iron Man 3 had a white old guy during Obama's presidency. For some reason, I think he was a villain. I don't know. He might have been evil. I don't remember.
Obama could have done no wrong. What are you talking about?
We're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. We're not political.
We're not getting into politics. If you want to hear about that, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I can't recommend anybody I listen to because that would show my political bias. So
you don't listen to anybody. Except Alex Jones.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Lord and Savior Alex Jones.
I love. You still haven't watched the video of they take Alex Jones ranting about Hillary Clinton being a demon, and they dub it over the Doomslayer killing demons. She goes, she's a demon, and then he cuts a guy in half with a chainsaw. And like in his mask, you can see Alex Jones' eyes. Turning the demons gay. So, I keep saying so to get us back on track.
And it's not working.
We run out of things to say, and then we go off on another tangent. But
so, with the whole DC animated stuff, even though I've seen it, I'm still excited for the Death and Return of Superman because
it's
definitely still going to be my favorite one. Like those two. But can we count it as one because they're made as one long movie?
I think we haven't actually. Did it go straight into? So when this first came out, the night before they released it on DVD, they had special screenings in theaters, and so we went and saw it. And so Death of Superman had come out a year before,
Mm-hmm.
and then Reign of the Supermen, which is the sequel, where there's a bunch of Superman clone dudes running around, comes out, and you go to
not to spoil it, but Superman dies in the Death of Superman.
Yeah, he does. Sorry. So, the night before it came out, they had a double feature where it was just like a seamless, the Death of Superman into the Reign of Superman, and I don't remember if it was perfectly seamless or not, and we haven't watched this yet. So
I think there were credits at the end of.
I think there were too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can technically call it seamless, but this DVD might also be seamless. I just bought the DVD, of
Which means
the full thing.
which means we have to commit like 3.5 hours.
It's only actually like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
So it only seemed longer because we saw it in the theater.
I'm thinking that's probably what it is. I wonder if they have the same credit. No, the credits, they'd have to make new credits, I think, because I assume there's characters in the first movie that aren't in the second movie.
I mean, you have good old Rainn Wilson.
Wayne Wilson.
Wade Wilson.
Wayne Wilson.
Yes, Deadpool is the voice of Lex Luthor. No,
I mean, that would make a little more sense than Dwight from The Office, which is what's going on. My mom keeps tagging me in things on Facebook. So she has tagged me in our college has posted some stuff where if you go in, they've got stuff to give you. They've got peanut butter and ravioli and crackers and pudding.
oh, prison food.
Yeah, pretty much, that they'll give you that got donated or something. Or they probably didn't. Oh, no, it did get donated by community members.
I mean,
That's so nice.
Our college is small enough where, like, they're letting people stay on campus if they want it, but most people just stayed home.
Donated by community members, because heaven forbid an actual corporation gives some free food out for people to live on.
Yep. It's loud upstairs.
Wow. Speaking of food, I hate garlic Jr.
And that's our transition into bad movies or music we've watched or listened to in the last.
It's an awful title, but I love it. It's going to be long. So, bad stuff we've watched or listened to or read. But we don't read, really.
No.
Just the news on Facebook, and that's pretty bad.
Or stupid things people do on their Snapchat stories.
Oh, man. There's so many people ranting on Snapchat right now because they got nothing better to do. It's like, please, either get better opinions or don't share them. Nobody cares.
Look,
Again, we're recording a podcast talking about our
in the words
opinions.
of our esteemed music professor, when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. See, I didn't dox him, so we're good.
I guess so. So, okay. So,
I'm running a little dry. Do you want another beverage?
yeah, give me another one. I need to be caffeinated. And by caffeinated, I mean not caffeinated. 'Cause
Okay, honey, I'll be right back.
Okay, bye, son. What did the buffalo say to his kid when he left for college? Bye, son. Thanks, Dad. I mean, son. Which are you, my son or my dad?
I don't know.
There's some guy in Marvel Comics who is a time traveler and traveled back in time, and he was both his dad and his son. It was like some one-off issue in the 80s or 90s.
That sounds very Terminator-y.
It's weird, but he's his own father, so that's really weird. Oh, we watched Terminator Genesis, but so bad things. The Garlic Jr. saga, is that what it's actually called?
Yeah, it's so Dragon Ball Z. You have the seasons, and it's just divided like normal, like season 1, 2, 3, whatever. But I think it's the way they divide the actual manga, the actual like comic books.
Mm-hmm.
They divide it instead of like the seasons, it's the sagas. And so like
But this wasn't in the manga.
exactly, so which doesn't make sense. So basically this series of like 6 or 7 episodes is in the main continuity according to the seasons,
TV show.
the TV show, but it's not canon.
There's so much. He's trying to make me watch this show, and there's about 30 movies made in like tangent to this show.
Well, it's not 30, but
and none of them actually happen.
they're just like more for fun things. It's like
Well, this was not fun. I did not have fun.
well, it's because these are movies.
This was terrible.
It's like 6 or 7 horrible
How many?
episodes.
It was like 7.
There's one. We have like one left, I think.
So it's like the first 6 or 7 episodes of this new season, and it's this big old buff guy is for some reason a tiny little child man, and I'm gonna burp. So one sec. This tiny little child man is also a big manly child man, and he comes back from the abyss or something.
From the dead zone,
The dead zone.
which he was sent to.
Isn't that on the way here from town? When you're on the phone, you hit the dead zone.
Yeah, same thing.
So he
Lives out there. He's like 2 miles from my house.
lives in the water. Yeah. He lives in
He lives in the river.
that lake, the river. There's a lot of water on the way here. I don't know which one's which.
He swims.
It's terrifying.
So anyway, so if you follow up on Dragon Ball Z, and if you don't, I'm sorry, not really. Garlic Jr. was a character who was introduced in a movie that takes place somewhere before Dragon Ball Z starts, but after Dragon Ball ended.
Continue. Are you tired of explaining the boring story already?
Kind of, but all you need to know is Gohan beat this dude when he was a
So
baby, and then-
Gohan's like 4, and now he's like 6, and this man is now a child also, and he releases some evil demon sauce, and it infects everybody and turns them into zombies or vampires, and they bite each other, and then they don't actually. It was probably the boringest night of my life watching that chunk of. It just dredged on for hours of just this guy going, ha, 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 your friends are evil now. And then they go,
Piccolo's going to beat you up.
I'm not actually evil. I was just punching you so he'd believe I was evil. It's like, it's so... Then again, that's pretty much the exact storyline of Justice League versus Teen Titans. It's all their friends turn evil and beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. That was done better because it had Batman in it. Batman could beat Goku. No, I'm kidding. I just had a rant about why Superman would lose to Batman. This chair, my hips are too girthy for this chair, and so I'm in pain.
Garlic Jr. sucks. It sucks so bad that it's not canon.
Yeah, so within this
there is
TV
a
show,
chunk where the entire first 7 episodes of season 4 don't exist in the main continuity.
they don't actually even happen.
I would say they're for fun, but they're not even fun, so...
They should do that with some of the episodes of The Office. Make them non-canon. Those last 2 seasons were rough, man.
You didn't like the last 2 seasons?
They were like, overall, I have positive feelings about them, but compared to the rest of the show and just like in the moment, I was kind of like,
Primetime Office is like seasons 4 through 6.
Yeah, the rest is good though. It's good. It's good like junk food TV, where like, you know, it's bad for you, but you still eat 3 bowls of it every night.
Not as bad as the Ninja Turtle Christmas special.
You just segued right into that. That was really smooth. Not even time for a musical transition. I guess we're still in the same whatever. So
This was over Christmas break, wasn't it?
it was either right before or right after Christmas break. We watched both the holiday
Star Wars
holiday special, which I think there was some good parts in it, honestly, but also most of it's terrible.
Carrie Fisher is so high the entire time.
Funny. She looks like your cat who's got a lazy eye the whole movie. But we watched the Ninja Turtle Christmas special. It's like a 25-minute straight to DVD Christmas special where it's like
It's a musical. The entire thing's a musical.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I thought maybe they were going to fight Shredder and he was going to have a Christmas hat on or something. Maybe he was stealing the presents from the good boys and giving them coal with ninja stars inside. That'd be a good Ninja Turtle Halloween special where they hand out candy to the kids and they have little throwing stars in them
instead of razor plates.
And the Ninja Turtles have to stop it. But it's just 25 minutes of them parodying, doing parodies of Christmas songs with Ninja Turtle lyrics that pertain to the story, kind of, and then like 2 lines of dialogue in between.
So the entire overlaying plot is that it's Christmas Eve, and the turtles have gotten presents for each other, but not for Master Splinter.
You remember a lot more about this than I do.
It's like a fever dream,
I don't remember
but it's a
most of it.
vivid fever dream. So they're trying to remember, because they forgot that they didn't get any presents for Splinter, and so I believe the first song is like an introduction song or whatever.
You still remember way more than that. I'm gonna check the Wikipedia.
Is there a Wikipedia page?
I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page, but it's also live action. So it's like imagine the Ninja Turtle movies from the 90s where they're all dressed up. In
They're
their costumes,
animatronics.
and they're animatronics, except really bad.
The
They
lips
have-
aren't synced up at all.
Their teeth are terrifying. They're just like out there in the open and just and I hate it.
I
but
encourage,
also
I
loved
encourage
it.
you all to check it out. It's on YouTube. Just search Ninja Turtle Christmas Special. It's like a half hour long.
The highlight was definitely halfway through Mikey, the one with the nunchucks. Unless you live in the UK, then he had a grappling hook because nunchucks were illegal. But he starts singing opera music.
And Raphael, which if you look on the IMDb page for this, under the quotes,
That's under
under the movie quotes, there's just one quote, and it's from Raphael, and it's quote, "Oh no, he's turning into that opera guy again."
there's an IMDb page. The title's actually called "We Wish You a Turtle Christmas."
So search that on YouTube, and you'll find it.
But I'm pretty sure that it's technically illegal, but also who cares? It's got a 2 out of 10 critic rating. I'd say it's arguably better than
Star Wars special?
the Star Wars special. The Star Wars special animated part is amazing, but
Yeah.
the rest of it is
Well,
just
it's because
junk.
it's basically just droids.
There's a review on here, 1 star, and it starts off with, "I'd like to say I have no words to express the sheer hysterical horror of this Christmas special.
It's like so bad it's good though.
The truth is, since it's only 23 minutes, I have almost too many words about how bad it is." But, so what I'd like to talk about in a future episode, if we actually get to another episode, is I bought at a Goodwill. So, like in the 90s, the Ninja Turtles, in these same terrifying costumes, went on arena tours and actually played concerts, kind of like the Wiggles do. And I have a cassette tape, and inside it's got the band picture. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see them. And it's all of the instrumentalists with their instruments.
But
And
they're dressed as turtles.
well, they're the Ninja Turtles with their instruments, and you'd think like, oh, they'd have instruments that are good with their personality. Like Donatello's a nerd, so he's got the guitar. I don't remember what the other ones have, but stinking Raphael, you'd think, oh yeah, he'd shred some guitar solos or something. He plays the saxophone.
There's a picture of this. This is documented.
Picture of him holding a saxophone on the inside of this cassette tape paper thing, and it's terrifying.
We still haven't listened to it yet.
Speaking of bad albums, Green Day just had a new album come out.
Yes, king of all the mother effers.
No, it's Father.
Father of all mother effers. And it was so original and so new that they reused some of the album art from American Idiot, which is arguably their best album
It's like,
and arguably their last good album.
I don't even listen to them that, like, I know of them, but I don't, like, actively listen to Green Day. But you can tell just by their new album is literally just album art from a different album. They've zoomed in a little bit and then glued a unicorn on it, and they censor their own title. Like, it's called Father of All Mother Effers, and it just says Father of All, and that's it. And there's like a ... and then some unicorn vomit. It's like, if you're going to call it that, at least commit to the stinking bit. Like, holy cow, man. And so I've listened to a couple of the songs, just like I've seen terrible reviews online, and so I wanted to try it. And I don't think I've ever gotten more than 25 seconds into any of the songs on the album because it's awful.
Yeah, they've definitely gone the way of most bands that were popular in the 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, like who is it?
Blink 182 is awful now.
Is it Imagine Dragons that has the Thunder song?
Yep.
Is it Imagine Dragons?
Yeah, it's Imagine Dragons,
It's-
aka rock for people who say they hate rock.
It's a pop song, but he's kind of got an angry tone to his voice, and then they have a little synthesized, high-pitched chipmunk voice in the background going. It's like, what are we doing? Are we listening to music, or are we listening to somebody play Smash Bros? Holy cow! And it's like, I'm pretty sure that it was either that song or Believer was on. You make me, you make
Yeah.
me. That was on the top 10 best rock songs of the decade or by Billboard or whatever.
Because apparently the standard to be a rock song now is you have to play at least 2 measures of guitar in a song.
Rock music is such a weird genre now. Like you know, I guess you do too. I really like 21 Pilots, but I would not call them rock. They're not pop either because I don't know. They've had popular music.
I'd call them more.
They're more pop than rock, but they're kind of like progress. I don't know.
It's a subgenre of like pop and progressive.
It's weird. Like
I'd go as far as to call it electronic.
they've got a couple of hit songs. Like they had a Ride and Stressed Out was everybody hates now because it's so overplayed, and like Heathens. But their new album wasn't really played as much. Like it wasn't everywhere.
Right.
But they're like dark, and so they're not. I wouldn't put them as pop, but their Ride and Stressed Out were both like 2 or 3 or 3 and 4 on the top 10 best rock songs of the decade according to Billboard, and I thought that was kind of dumb. Like I think they're great, but they're definitely not rock music.
Right.
Like, I could see some of their songs being considered rock, like the first one, Jumpsuit.
Yeah,
It's got the
it gets really heavy at the
it's
end.
like heavy. It's got like a driving rock beat, and it's got the bass sounds like an electric guitar more than like a bass does.
But the rest of that album, I would.
The rest of the album is just like synthesized keyboard stuff.
It's definitely just electronic.
But it's considered rock, and it's really weird, and we're definitely not qualified to judge any of this, but I don't really care. What was the other thing we were talking about that was bad? Nickelback.
Hey, so before disclaimer, we do not hate Nickelback.
So yeah, I also unironically like Nickelback quite a bit because I have a friend, and he listens to more like the dad rock, but like country. Like he listens to a lot of country, and I listen to a lot of rock, and so like the dad rock is right where we like interconnect. And so whenever I drive anywhere with him, I'll turn on like Pandora or whatever it is that has the actual radio stations on it, and I'll do Nickelback radio because it's most of that dad rock like anybody can like, and it's not bad. Like their older stuff isn't bad. This Is How You Remind Me is definitely pretty good. Photograph is a meme, but it's actually not a bad song. It's like
No.
All-Star kind of.
Well, like if you, there's an interview out there somewhere with Chad Kroeger, who is the lead singer of Nickelback, and he admits to saying how they studied hit songs, and basically they took every aspect from every hit song from the previous 10 years at that point in time. I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, and they just condensed it all. Like they like studied it and tried to make the perfect rock song, like for the radio, which is definitely what I think they did, or at least got really close.
Basically,
to it.
they took that formula and copied it, which is why they got so much playtime in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And why their albums were so popular. But now, if you listen to any, but then people kind of caught on,
Yeah.
I think, and then they're like, "Oh, this isn't that good."
Like
And I'm not saying that it's
terrible.
it's
but
not really good music, but it's catchy. And if it's on, I'm not going to change it because Nickelback's one of those things where everybody says they hate it, but if it comes on in the car with your friends,
Yeah.
you're definitely going to sing
Yeah.
along to it.
It's definitely like a group activity music where it's tame enough that everybody
Yeah.
likes it. It's like the Sweet Home Alabama of rock music. The Sweet
Yeah.
Home Alabama is a rock song, but like it's like southern rock kind of.
Yeah.
But
It's that southern country rock
Yeah.
or whatever.
but we listened to a little bit of their newest album that came out a couple of years ago.
It's
It's
gross.
They're trying too hard to be like a really heavy metal rock band, but then they have his voice come in. Look at this! It's like, no, this is not. They're trying too hard to be like dark, and like they're not.
Chad Kroeger's got one of those voices where if you look at a picture of his face, you would not go, "Oh, that's the singer from Nickelback."
If you look at his hair, you'd think, ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Speaking of, actually, I don't know where I was going with that.
Ramen noodles.
I was gonna say speaking of bad music, but I couldn't think of any more. I could have sworn I had more bad music that I was gonna talk about. Okay, so bad music. The Billie Eilish is like the big thing now, and like I think statistically I should be into it because like there's a huge crossover between like 21 Pilots fans and her because they're both like dark, depressing, and whatever. But she's definitely more pop, like if you listen to it.
Yeah.
But her lyrics are trying harder to be even darker than everybody else, and it's such like a weird thing. And I get why people are into it, but I can't stand her singing. Because everybody else on the planet, when they sing kind of low, they get closer and they sing a little more like this. She sings like she's in an ASMR video, and you put some headphones in and you hear all of the sounds right in your ear, and it drives me insane.
You know, if I hear like Bad Guy come on the radio, I'm not going to change it because I think it's a kind of a catchy song.
It's catchy, but like with headphones, you got to have it at a volume where you can't hear her breathing.
Granted, it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to listen to, but if it comes on, I'm not going to change it.
I think it's definitely also got some really good. It's got a lot of rock potential. There's a lot of good rock covers of it.
Also, Billie Eilish, she's pretty like non-problematic when it comes to like
So far,
like I don't think she's a bad person. At least as far as I know.
We also don't really follow her, but
yeah.
There's nothing. Speaking of rock covers, though, of pop music, that's actually how I got into Taylor Swift.
Hey, T Swift is great.
I was never like a huge fan. Like I've heard of Taylor Swift, but back when Blank Space came out, I was like, this is kind of a catchy song. I like this. And then I can't think of who it was. It was Our Last Night or one of those bands that they're on YouTube and they just are money grubbing. As soon as a hit song comes out, they cover a rock version of it, and that's the only thing they make on their channel. But every once in a while, they release like an original song, and it's got like 10 views.
So kind of like Frog Leap.
Yeah, he does metal though. Theirs was more like pop, not pop metal, but there's like the really polished like metalcore stuff now, where it's like rock music, but then they've got the really high pitched like soaring vocals. It was like that, and it was like, this is really good. And then after I listened to that, the actual song sounded better to me too, and that's like one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. But I started listening to her because of that, so I thought that was kind of an interesting story about my life.
And now you like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I do. She's great. Well, she's
Sometimes
great.
Whether you agree with her views on stuff or not,
I think not listening to any vocals and just like listening to her music every time it comes on the radio, like every time she has a new song come out on the radio, I think it's catchy enough that it deserves to be on the radio. Like I even like Look What You Made Me Do, and that got a lot of flack because the chorus was literally just look what you made me do, look what you made me do, which I don't understand why people are mad about that because
every pop song ever.
I was going to say every rap song ever doesn't have melody for most of it. It's the same loop in the background and then just a guy going over it, and she just did it for one part of the song, and everybody was up in arms about it.
I think one of the greatest things to come of especially this last decade was the fact that Kanye West is now a born-again Christian and released his gospel album, which I know we talked about it the other day, but I liked it. It was good.
It's not bad, but
I mean, it's still Kanye West rap, so if you're into it, you'll like it. But
yeah.
I think content-wise is definitely...
What kind of sucks, though, about Kanye right now is that they just like 2 days ago, it was leaked a couple phone calls he had with Taylor Swift a couple years ago that causes big drama, and he had some like derogatory lyrics in a song about her. And originally, they had leaked this phone call where it seemed like that he said, "Yeah, I'm going to say this about you," and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. It's just a song." But the full thing was actually released like just this week. And in it, you can hear he doesn't actually specifically say what he was going to say, and she's definitely not on board with it. And so everybody's up in arms and being nasty to Kanye again. But also, this was like what? This was at least 5 years ago, I think. It might not be quite 5 years ago. It was. I read that it was actually Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, how they treated her, that made her write Look What You Made Me Do. So whenever that came out. But also, he's like trying really hard to be a good guy now.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can really hold that against him for something he did a long time ago. Computer just what's going on? Oh,
I'm going to say his name because it's not doxing. I was talking to Tyler. And because he's big into Kanye, and he said that Kanye West, like a few years ago, he was like in a really bad car wreck. And like after it kind of like messed him up, which is kind of like when he went off the deep end and he was all in the whole like Yeezus thing and saying he was the greatest person ever and all that. So that's kind of, I think, for me personally, that's why I was not really, interested in his music, because I didn't like him as a person, because I thought he was just full of himself and I thought he was just another one of those rappers. But
yeah, for sure, he's definitely turned it around. Like, even if you don't, whether or not you believe he's a Christian or not or whatever, he's definitely trying a lot harder to be a good guy just in general.
Yeah.
At least from what, I guess I haven't really heard about anything about him recently in the news, but like back when it was like first a big thing, he was definitely trying really hard.
Yeah, and I don't follow Kanye enough to keep up
same.
with that kind of thing. So, but yeah, his last album, I liked it.
My brother really likes it, and I guess he was into rap in high school a little bit. He was like into Lecrae and like Christian rappers, but he's also like a huge like, this isn't heavy enough, I need it to be heavier, like metal. And then he's like, man, I love this new Kanye album. It's like, dude, you get mad at me if I write a song and don't scream in it, but if you like Kanye's music, it's fine. He's fine. That's okay. I'm trying to find a good transition into the Triple Lupa.
Oh, hey man, here, I got a transition for you.
Okay.
Hey man, are you hungry?
No.
Darn, what a shame, because you know what was really good, what we had for supper last night?
We had popcorn, didn't we?
Before that,
I had pork chops.
after that,
I'm lost.
so I got home yesterday at like 4:30 in the afternoon.
You were late. You were supposed to be here at 4.
We never agreed on that.
Yes, we did. You said, let's do this tomorrow on Saturday. And I said, okay, I'll be off at 4. We can do it at 4. And it was 4:30, and you were not here. And so we couldn't do it.
And you also said you were tired afterwards.
At like 8:30 at night, not at 4 o'clock.
Okay, fine. I will concede that to you.
We had triple lupas yesterday.
Yes, we went.
Taco Bell.
We went to drove back into town, got
Broke quarantine and went to the Taco Bell drive-thru.
to get triple lupa boxes, and they were delicious.
It was really good. So, for those of you that don't know what a chalupa is,
By the way, we are not sponsored by Taco Bell.
I wish we were, dude.
So much free Taco
What
Bell.
would do you think they'd pay us to like sponsorship, or do you think they like give you a gift card? Do they just send you a box full of tacos? I'd be down for just like if say their fee is like they give you like $100 or whatever. I'm sure it'd be actually more than that. I don't want $100. I want 100 tacos.
$100 worth of tacos.
No, I want 100 tacos because their tacos aren't $1.
Fair enough.
But so the triple lupa is a chalupa, which is like it's basically a soft shell taco, but the shell
It's like a deep fried shell.
Yeah, but the shell is like deep fried in like bread instead of a taco. I don't know. I don't understand Taco Bell's cuisine. It's just drug food. What are you doing?
Burping.
Oh, just do it in the. But that's a really fun time to burp. I just did too. So it's that, but it's got 3 humps, and it's just long, and there's spots where you can break it in half. So it's like 3 smaller chalupas, and it's got all the same topping all throughout, except all 3 of them have different sauces. So one is just cheese. The other end is just chipotle, and then the middle one is both. And so I don't know if you're supposed to share this or what, but we definitely both had our own triple lupa.
And they were delicious.
And I would not share with you if you had paid me into the 100 tacos because it was good.
And it also comes with a hard shell taco and the styrofoam cinnamon twists.
Cinnamon twists that taste like packing. They feel like packing peanuts in your mouth, but covered in cinnamon.
And they're really good if you put hot sauce on them.
They actually are good if you put the mild sauce. I guess you did hot sauce. I don't like
They're so good though.
I don't like spicy things, but I like tacos. So it's like this weird like I like mild tacos.
And you won't eat lettuce on them
It's
either.
like so I'm pretty sure if I ever went to like an authentic like Mexican restaurant, I might get doxxed or like shot in the kneecap. I don't know what my obsession with knees is today, but I don't think they'd appreciate it. Like, can I have a taco, but can you make it not spicy? Because I don't like spice. I don't like hard shells though, and hard shells are the American thing, and soft shells are like the actual traditional thing. So I might get some bonus points with the Mexican restaurant in town.
But that we can't go to right now because everything's shut down.
Are they doing
They're doing carry out only.
carry out?
So you can call ahead and order, and it's not bad, but it's not as convenient. But nothing's convenient anymore, so I guess it fits in just fine.
I want to buy some cheese, but no. Apparently everybody got the toilet paper. They're like, man, I've got these giant stacks of toilet paper. Actually, no, it's the opposite. Everybody's got the giant stacks of toilet paper, and it leaves half of us with nothing. And I suppose everybody just thought, I have the greatest solution. So now all the cheese is sold out, because I'm assuming people are trying to constipate themselves, so that way they won't need the toilet paper. So then when they can't find it at Walmart, it won't matter. But man, there's no cheese. There's no toilet paper.
There's no bottled water.
There's no bottled water that's good tasting. I am very particular about my bottled water.
And plus, Aquafina's too expensive.
Aquafina is expensive, and it tastes like dirt water. And the water from Hy-Vee tastes like dirt water, and the water from Fairway tastes like dirt water that a dead animal was floating in.
I work at Fairway. I like the water. It's not bad.
The water's disgusting.
I'm
If
not-
Fairway tries to...
I'm not even contractually obligated to say that, but I like it.
I'm contractually obligated to say it's terrible.
Please don't fire me, Fairway.
They won't know who you are. We never said your name.
I said your name.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It's clear back in the beginning.
Oh well. I don't work for Fairway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, the Triple Lupa is really good, and I'm still really disappointed that we didn't win that Xbox.
That we tried so hard to get.
Last year, towards the end of the year, if you bought one of their $5 boxes, that came with codes to get a Taco Bell Xbox, that when you turn it on, it goes dong.
Makes the Taco Bell ding noise.
We didn't win. Do you realize how much Taco Bell we ate those like 3 months?
It was an ungodly
We could have
amount.
just bought
an Xbox.
the Xbox with the ding. But no, we bought Taco Bell.
I think we rationalized it, be like, nah, it's only a $5 box.
But it'd be more expensive
which adds
now,
up when
which
we
is-
it adds up when we both buy like 20 boxes.
I am annoyed that every single restaurant is up in their prices. Because, like, dude, come on. I'm not making more money. I'm not getting a raise. Stop raising your prices. There was a $5 box in November, and now it's a $6 box. It's like, what the heck, man? I need that extra dollar. Because when you buy 5 of these, you could have bought an extra one. But no, now you're down to only 5 instead of 6, and it's stupid. I can't get my order at McDonald's whenever I want it because the McChickens are $1.19 now. You realize what I could do with that 19 cents?
What can you do with that 19 cents?
Well, I'd probably have the change in my pocket and like lose it somewhere, so probably nothing. But
It's the principle.
it's the principle. Some kid could find that 19 cents on the ground and get their day made, but instead I paid it to the evil clown overlord. I love McDonald's. Sponsor us. That'd be funny. Would you? I think my favorite food is tacos, but I think my favorite fast food restaurant's McDonald's.
I mean, yeah, McDonald's is definitely, it's up there.
The one in town, I think, is probably the best McDonald's I've been to.
Unless you ask anybody who has lived in that town their whole life, they will tell you it's the worst McDonald's
It's
ever.
so dumb. I've never had a bad batch of fries from this McDonald's, and I eat this McDonald's at least once a week for like the past 2 years. And I guess I was here every week during the summer too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had McDonald's every week though. The one, in the town that's further away, that's really nice.
The one with your favorite Walmart?
Yes, that's a nice McDonald's, but their food's not as good as this one. This one's disgusting, but the food's really good. The fries are definitely good. And I've not found any of the weird green dyed hair inside any of the food that every woman in the cook area seems to have.
That's just
There's
vapor.
an abnormal amount of green-haired women working at that McDonald's.
That's just vapor from the grease. Turns your hair green.
Wow. Did you hear all the tattoo parlors are getting shut down because of the coronavirus?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't want anybody putting a needle in my skin while there's a.
You don't want anybody putting a needle in your skin anyway.
I don't like needles, but I want a tattoo.
You know what you should get?
What?
You should get so you know how like when you're born they get your like footprint and they like stamp it on your birth certificate or whatever it is. You should get that, but my adult foot, tattooed on your back because it would be at least half your back. My big toe would take up like a fourth of your back.
You know what that means, right?
What?
You have to stand on my back while they trace it.
No, they wouldn't have to
Or
trace it.
they just put it on a piece
They
of
just-
paper.
Well, no, they'd take my foot and they'd dip it in ink and then they'd stick it to your back and then they just tattoo over it. That's how they do. Like people will go to like signings and get people to sign their arm and then they just don't wash it. Go to the tattoo place the next day and they just tattoo over the Sharpie. So we could do that with my foot. Just did a sick bass drop. It's the lowest your voice has ever gotten, I think.
You're right. I have a little boy voice. Was cursed with it from birth.
You have a little boy body too. You're like 4 foot tall.
That's an exaggeration.
You're right. He's 3'8".
You know the meme that's like
5'8" girls and 5'8" guys. And
Yeah.
the girl's like 6 foot taller than the guy.
it's like that, but me where it's like the difference between 4 foot and 3'11" or something like that. I'm not actually 4 feet tall.
You're a little taller than that.
It's a couple inches.
Maybe 4'6". Oh, so since the conversation is lulling, we've got a bullet point 5, even though there's not bullets. Bullets would be cool. Can you imagine making like a sheet of paper and having bullet points and then actually shooting bullet holes in the bullet points?
Dude, I got guns.
That would be so cool. We should do that.
I got guns.
But we got what would we do with the $1,000 stimulus package that we may be getting from the government?
So what I should do with that money, I have a vehicle payment that I have just over $1,000 left on. So I should just pay that off right away, build that credit, you know. So when this vehicle craps out on me, I can just get more credit to buy a nicer one.
Yeah.
But I probably do that. And if
No, you wouldn't.
you're right, that's what I should do. I don't know what I would do.
I know what you would do.
What would I do?
That Goku statue. Oh yeah. That looks like it's like painted.
It's
to
like
look
it's like shaded,
It was like drawn. That's pretty cool. There's some stuff like that I've seen.
especially since our wish orders aren't going to be here till July. So we
It's like 2 weeks before the coronavirus was
So,
like it was around, but it
we
wasn't
were
really
kinda
a
like-
big deal.
we were kind of like it was when we got really into Dragon Ball Z, watching all this stuff again, and
Yeah. Well, for the first time for me, but yeah,
Yeah.
continue. Weeb.
and so he got on the Wish app and he was just looking for Dragon Ball Z stuff because cheap stuff on the Wish app, and he found these really cool LED light up figurines or whatever.
So it's like they're about to shoot some some balls of energy at you, but they light up.
They're like
instead.
night lights or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you got a Vegeta one and I got a Goku one.
Mm-hmm.
And the
But then it said that they might be here by June, and we were both kind of confused because normally Wish takes like a month, so it should be here by like what month is it? It's April. So it should be here by like the end of April. But it said June, and then the next week everything started shutting down for the coronavirus, and now it says it won't be here till July 24th.
yeah, so
But then, the coronavirus stuff has continually got worse, and everything's closed, and colleges are closing, and you're not allowed to leave the house in some places. But then, like 2 days ago, amidst all this stuff, we got a notification from Wish that our package order is on the way. So we're getting coronavirus shipped straight to our front doors.
Yeah, so the plan is when they get here, we're just going to take cans of Lysol and just like douse the box.
Well, mine's going to go to my house, so my parents are going to open it and just get the coronavirus.
God bless.
Hopefully they don't. Mine still says arriving July 24th, but also it's on the way. So how is it going to take 3 months to get shipped here? It arrived in the U.S. What? It says arrived at destination airport. What's today?
The 23rd.
Yesterday, it arrived in the USA. So there's no way that it's going to take 3 months to get to our house from then.
I'm concerned.
I'm kind of scared.
So what? Are we just going to disinfect these, or are we going to just embrace it, open the box up, and just inhale the China air?
That'd be hilarious. That's not racist, by the way. It's not because they're Chinese. It's just because it came from China.
Yeah.
So it's more congested. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Densely populated.
Well, no, like the
Populated.
virus.
Oh.
The virus is more like prevalent. I don't know. There's a lot more people with it there right now. So people might be going to work not realizing they have it.
But
Pack our stuff.
according to the news, people are recovering very well in China. So
Yeah. So hopefully, if we get it, we won't die.
not-
But I mean, oh well.
You've got asthma.
I have asthma. I will die. If I die, you can't have my Vegeta. I want to be buried with it. So like they have like the soldiers, they put their hands over their chest
Yeah.
or whatever. I want Vegeta in my hands, on my chest.
You got to put batteries in it, let it light up.
Yes. Or just put him. Get one of those like silicone or not silicone. Silicone is the bendy stuff, right? It's like rubbery.
Kind of, yeah.
No, it's resin. I want one of
Yeah.
those clear resin headstones, but I want him to be squished inside. So like he's floating in my tombstone.
No, you need a gel-filled tombstone, so he's constantly bouncing around like a lava lamp.
So like whenever you went to the counselor's office and they had those things that you turn upside
Yeah.
down and they had the little like glitter or whatever that would move around inside the gel. I want that for my tombstone. So you just walk up to it and you turn my tombstone upside down and all the glitter and gel starts moving around.
See, everybody can have fun.
You can come play with me still. It'll be fun. It'll be like the play dates we had when we were young.
Except we didn't have playdates when we were young.
We didn't know each other when we were young.
No, we didn't.
They won't know that. They, as in all 0 people that have listened to this. So, the $1,000. We were talking about what we're going to spend on the $1,000, and you said the statue. I think you should get a Switch, so then we could play the Nintendo Switch together. Trademark. We could buy a lot of Mountain Dew with $1,000.
That's what the can redemption's for.
Oh yeah, we've got like 2 garbage bags hanging on the wall that are full of pop cans, just completely full, and we can't return them because they're afraid we have coronavirus on the cans. And so we're just sitting on all this money that's probably like $2.50. We're wasting wall space for trash bags.
That's where
full
my
of-
bathrobe is supposed to go, but I don't even have a bathrobe right now.
I
So
don't understand why people wear bathrobes. I've never understood the concept of bathrobes. Is it supposed to be while you're still wet when you get out of the shower?
I wear them just like over my pajamas because in the winter, especially because it's cold outside.
But that's what hoodies are for.
right.
Or it's just a Snuggie, but you put it on backwards. Snuggies are great.
I never had a Snuggie.
I had 2, but I'm like freakishly tall, so they only ever reached like my shins. So my feet I still had to put a blanket on, so it kind of defeated the purpose.
Just get a pair of slippers.
But like my ankles were cold. Slippers, I don't like slippers. I do like slippers, but I'll only wear them. I'll get new slippers and wear them for like 2 days, and then I won't ever wear them again because I don't like things on my feet.
You have an anti-foot fetish.
I don't like feet. I don't like socks. I don't like shoes. I don't like grass. I don't like standing in the grass barefoot. That's disgusting. But I also don't like socks, so it's kind of like a give and take. I would rather never have my feet touch
What
anything.
about sand? Do you like sand?
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
McClunky.
Not like you. You're so soft. Is that actually no? Is it thing not like here? And then he caresses her arm. I don't think he actually says you because that'd be too on the nose. Like they're still will they won't they at that point.
Also, you gotta give some. You gotta take some with that movie.
There's so many things in that movie that I enjoy. The final battle, like when they're tied up to the poles and then they have to get off.
The Battle of Geonosis.
The Battle of Geonosis when they're trying to fight the monsters while also being chained up. That is really cool. And Jango Fett looks really cool. And Count Dooku is cool even though he's just an old guy with a curved sword. Okay, so we have Darth Vader. He's this really cool, like he's all in
Half
black.
robot.
He's like a half robot samurai that uses magic powers to murder people. Then we got his boss, which is this evil wizard, and he shoots lightning from his fingers, and he's dark, and he's got this big evil master plan. Then we go back to before these guys, well, I guess the Emperor still, and we've got this really cool ninja assassin who's got this really cool black and red face paint and a double-bladed sword, and he murders like this really cool Jedi that everybody
And he gets
likes.
cut in half,
And
but he
gets cut in half,
survives.
but he survives, and he's awesome. And then the next movie is just an old guy with really high-waisted pants and a curved sword.
And he gets his head cut off
And he gets his head
by
cut
an
off in the
angry
next-
teenager.
They could have at least they could have given him a mask or something. I think everybody should have masks though, because I hate mouths.
Which is why you like Cooler in Dragon Ball Z.
So my favorite character designs are characters when you cannot see their nose or mouth, because I hate mouths on
Especially
superheroes.
animated
I
mouths.
I want masks on everybody because they look so much cooler that way. I think my least, if you have something over your mouth but still see your nose, that's okay. My least favorite character designs are characters where they have eyes and a mouth and they don't have a nose. So like Batman Beyond is kind of bad about that. It makes no sense how he's wearing a mask, but his lips are still sticking out, but also they're black like the rest of the mask. So is this like glued to his lips? It's disgusting and I hate it. Blue Beetle is one where that makes a little more sense because his suit is like a living alien thing. So it makes sense that it would like contort to his body and then like you could still see his mouth, but also it's disgusting and his mouth should never be visible. But it's so like the reason I like Mortal Kombat so much is because literally all of the cool characters there you can't see their mouths.
What you're forgetting the most disgusting of all. Optimus Prime's mouth in Michael Bay Transformers. The robot lips.
It's just like if you took a dude and glued a bunch of scrap metal to his face and then spray painted his teeth chrome and then told him to talk into a camera.
I want to know.
That would still be better than the Michael Bay mouth.
I want to know how much money in CGI was used on just getting Optimus Prime's lips to line up right.
That's not as bad as the money that allegedly has been paid recently so allegedly they paid somebody for like 6 months to go in and do an intensive CGI change to the Cats movie because they had CGI'd buttholes on all the cats to look more realistic, and they realized it was terrifying and paid somebody to for 6 months do nothing but go frame by frame and remove the buttholes on these disgusting human cat creatures.
You heard it here first, folks.
That could be
Batman v Superman wants the Zack Snyder cut. Give us the cat's butthole cut.
Actually, it's the Justice League that they want the Snyder cut.
Yeah, give us the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League.
I don't want the butthole. I do want to see the Cats movie though. We could talk about it on here.
That could be part of our bad segment.
I don't know how we're going to see the Cats movie though, because I don't think it's on DVD yet. And also, I don't want to spend $20 on it.
It's not worth it.
Do you think it'll go straight to the $5 bin?
I don't know. I would wait for the $3.75 bin.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all I got. We've recorded for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if this audio might not be usable. That'd be hilarious.
We'd have to restart.
Okay, well, that's all we got. We're just going to close this by saying...
I was